space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, weighs the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge one is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, weighs the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge one is when the run and bass drop. Rose up, took a shower, purified my arc field, took copper for a wall to ensure my chlorophyll is pumping. Done some curls for sure, off more to build solid foundation. My crown chakra core and hip pound the pavement. Sacred ground, freedom I stand for. Free all political prisoners of war, man or woman and child. Rid the land of all foreign and alien entities. I decree this morning, send them back to whence they came. It's the peace laugh or war cry, whatever the relevant name of each path. Simple, highest form, spirituality's how you teach math. A humble beast is still a beast. Now feel the beast wrath, rain fire upon them, and the internet forms, sigils, emojis, and the avatars that wore them. Destroy this de facto government and its quorums. Establish Big Ma house so she may restore him. A great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, weighs the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge born is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, weighs the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge born is when rhyme and bass drop. The next host, note to self, quit playing, hit the gas. This shaft is called my turn, take the risk and spaz. Most of them got vaccinated with chips in their ass, plus rappers sacrificing each other for grist to their cash. Sad can't watch videos without the subliminals, predictive programming weirdos from menstrual shows. The land's contaminated, fruits and vegetables, black minerals, the water and skies I fry. Liquid chemicals, technology got me here in front of my desktop, perusing these beasts and whatnot for my best option, contemplating which bar will next spot to unlock the minds that are stuck within a Xbox off the chart. I continue to climb, watching the rest flop like carp fishing, 100% fresh shark water. I'm on the front line, X marks the spot. I shine because of her, for she's the best part. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, weighs the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge born is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, weighs the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge born is when the run and bass drops. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the great matriarch. Honor and respect to our ancestors. Jah, you've always had a father, the author of your flow. Fish your fire starter, the cause of your glow. But the trail I've blazed, I pray you turn from it. The hell I've raised, I pray you don't burn from it.
And you can use some of that too if you want to add a little more to it. Right? Put a tablespoon more than enough. It's already got, you know what I mean? It's got more. They got the strawberry one too now. You know what I'm talking about? Look, I ain't even bust this one open yet. It's banging. I ain't opened it, but I've had it. You know what I'm saying? I used to buy both of them. The banana one too, but I just ordered that. It was too much.
Lots of pain. I feel the releasing of lightning and drops of rain from the sound cloud. You sound like me, the crown sprout.
Now, he got a couple of songs where Born Boy put the beats together. They trying to claim it, this fake Jews, right? And, but it's sample. And I looked it up. So the person that now they got two people trying to claim it. I'm like, you can't make this up. They are so considerately, inconsistently. I like it. I like it. I like the energy. If they only knew, they would just stop, but they don't know. So I'm grateful. Try to put a copyright on a music that's sampled by 1,000 people. It's so stupid. And they didn't even create it. Well, that's who it is. I mean, that's what we're gonna get into today. I'm gonna talk bad about bad about these Zionists, and that's a name that's not really utilized no more. But it's where people can start. You know what I mean? I gave him Gujar. Nobody ever heard that. Now people are starting to go. I saw like 12 videos on YouTube. All of a sudden, people you don't think come through. Oh, the Gujar are talking about it. Like they don't have a clue. Like they still believe the Earth is round and a spinning ball. I mean, and who's keep pushing it? I mean, come on, man.
You my beloved. You scintillate profusely. You my beloved. You resent fate foolishly. You my beloved.
I'll never buy this tea brand again. Never buy this fake Buddha tea. It's garbage. They're pathetic. What I have, it is what it is. Never buy their cheese. I would advise y'all never buy their cheese. Poor quality. Crap. Patience through abstinence, amongst other lessons. Perfect my craft and talents. Balance of our legacy in the Black Hawk's talents. Yes. Face adversity. Overcome all challenges. Generational wealth for the next generation to us. Can't make the same right amount of lemon zest. Of past tense instead. Let's create after we find relapses. Type of atmosphere. Redirected fire. Recalibrate the energy to propel us higher. As sovereign, opulent, autocratic, Nijis. I look at all three of my sons. On God, I see me. You my beloved. You scintillate profusely, you my beloved. You resent fate foolishly, you my beloved. Do ventilate truthfully, you my beloved. Sons in whom I'm well pleased. The human heart cries out for help. The human soul implores us for deliverance. But we do not hear their cries, for we neither hear nor understand. But the man who hears and understands we call crazy and flee from him. This a call to my ancestors. Rid the land of damn settlers. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Whether we feeling immense pressure. Some store each clan better. Plant and a devil to stand the weather. It's a must we band together. Put that on Abraham and Esther. From Castilians to conquistadors. Iberians and traitorous Moors. Didn't arrive as friends to us, whether as slavers, invaders, or disguised traders. Missionaries, Islamic Christians with dictionaries. No mutual goal to coexist. Those warships in our tributaries. Military tactics to test shores. Foreigners have no respect for treaties and oath. I expect more from those who want to conquest, except war. They didn't bring women during the invasions. The minds were rape, miscegenations, the spread of mis and disinformation, which manufactured the miseducation of the soul. Carter G. Bush, Robert Taylor Holmes, Marcia in Brooklyn, projects and hoods when we were pushed in Cali to Florida. Hardly cushion. It's like the terrorists, never ending shipment of American Indians from Belize to the Caribbean. Gives I shot the sheriff meaning. Shove my field can be read, no book. Flows in my veins were prepared with no hook. Behind the back pass with flair, no look. This beef is rare, get fed, no cook. We're peaceful people, they call us animals. Truth of the matter, they were cannibals. Practice unclean religious rites. Evidence tangible, check the annals. I bring heat, this beast flammable. Feel free to critique this canonical. If your brain's deeply maniacal, release or get treated damnable. You speak Hannibal, I talk black hole. Fighting a line, now the chief's back with bulk. That's big muscle drip. Oh, it's charged. Oh, okay. I whip my stuff up. I gotta drink my tea first, man. Man, them steaks right there, they're gonna be banging, man. We're gonna have to hook a little rice up early with a little sazon, and I got the beans, and then boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? 198, cuz wait, 198. I was there before, and I jumped back up to 205 or 210. I don't know. Hopefully, I can maintain and get it down to about 185 where I should be at. That's why I did. When I ran that same morning, I want to run now. I want to run at least about 4 times that length and then stretch it out. But I got to get some better running shoes or go dig the ones out that I got down there. That's why my instep was hurting. I was running in them damn T-moves. Biggest mistake on. And I knew it, but I just, when I felt like running, I'm like, you know what I mean? It's like, get the fever, you know what I mean? I got the medicine ball out. Started in the trunk twist, stretching.
Yet much larger than this fleshly vessel, more like an architectural lecture with its trestle board.
Yep.
Polished and tough.
2 times, 3 times a week. That's it. Ain't no 5 days a week and all that nonsense.
They say trust your signs with somebody's line. Try my patience, I'm aligned with Mother Nature finds these agents of this dying matrix. I'm in my own zone, within my own home. I'm in my own throne, my own skin, no clone. Since 1970, there I was born. Robert Taylor's 92nd Axis, Buckingham's one. First Sister Clever Harmon School, then fellowship, Christian Academy. Just before I went public, still stuck with so adamantly. Spark from the infinite. See the sun, I'm equivalent. The eminent instrument of the eminent, the legit militant. Break down in increments. Rid the land of immigrant, misogynist and feminist. Restore the innocent. Half-rich of Indians. Round pegs and square holes. Kindred spirits and rare souls. Discard the scarecrows. Better yet, the straw man. Pebbleboard rhetoric of the low man. It was us Europeans saw and ever since squatted on our land. Slaughtered our clans. Chartered our sands, auctioned us through birth certificates, social security, bartered our branches, census, or the doll's rolls, religious books, or lost scrolls. Everywhere we turn, crossroads, to relearn or more, it's most mode. I'm not talking horse code. Purged the family tree, they infected the bloodlines of the autochthonous Niji, brought with them disease, their pale-faced Slavic Maytags, Gregorian calendar holidays, turned the rainbow to a gay flag. They made treaties with tribes they recognized federally, ineffably. They were in cahoots with the Iroquois Confederacy. It's my destiny, along with the ancient ones, to return for everything they owe. I don't mean government-sanctioned funds. I got other artistic notions of mine that's high-flown, because the land's fly-blown. Look for me in a cyclone. Great spirit, quick in my bones. I'm a true and living soul, son of the great matriarch.
Buy some honey.
My heart glistening gold. Everyone
Gotta pick up some 2x4s today, because we're gonna get that deck up today, tomorrow. Really, in the next about 4 or 5 days, or after the next 2 or 3 days, we're gonna start hitting the 70s and at night around the 40s and 50s. So it's the time when we can start like really building, like really getting things locked in. It's gonna be a lot of work, up hangers and all that kind of stuff, because we didn't double up on the 2x6. Okay, usually you double on the 2x6, spread it out about, I think, like 2 feet, 2 feet 3 inches, 2 feet 4 inches, and that way you have overlap where you can nail the plywood. So it's a little different. We kind of kept it one single. We're gonna have to go sideways instead of, you know what I mean? And that's gonna cause us to have to realign certain things in the platform when we lay the bottom part in and get the installation. We start topping it so we don't have.
And a lot of this music,
you know what I mean?
It's only talking about to suppress.
A little extra work, but it makes it more sturdy. The next one though is going to be legit. It's the double up.
The oppressed rise against the oppressor.
Wood,
so only people that's scared
it is
the
what
oppressed.
it is. You know what I mean?
The only people who could have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3 pound pressure, no weight blesser. Drop the oppressor, meet no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight blesser. Drop the oppressor. 3 pound pressure, no weight blesser. Drop the oppressor, meet no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight blesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. It's time for a change, got a boss up. The pressure's about to get tossed up. I'm laying out, execution style too late when I fall into the claim. You rap in a coca flame, by God, it's overdue. Your time is to the end. Lockdown silent without sin. He put me on the planet with justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled down. With suppressors attached in the war zone. Revolution can start in the Arizona. I'm a messenger like Theracom. Backed by the honorable who sits at the pinnacle. Who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the plentiful sinful. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protective service. Quick to pull the Glock, blast and kill. This don't take any type of skill. I'm ill of all citizens who haven't took a stand. Or kneels too late when the caps get pills. Don't believe in GZ type. Going hits close to home. You gotta act the bone when it gas the dome. When it's on the zone, all red of my vision through sight. It's gonna be killed whenever I fight. From above, I've been given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. On the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' rid them out, so gon' pass the kite. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender.
This world is such a and when I say this world, I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme. Push. Step. Crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped.
A Django. I think I'm red. A real one. Not the fake one. No disrespect. It is what it is. Hey, what's happening, beautiful peoples? First I want to start off with this. Cherokee Bill, Black Cowboy Indian Law. I started reading it, and it's written by R.T. Burton. Be mindful and careful of who and what you read, and by who and from who. Cherokee Bill was every bit as colorful and outrageous as any criminal of the Western frontier, perhaps even more so. There were a few things about him that made him truly unique for a famous desperado of the Purple Sage. We know that the West, that whole thing was a new creation, a fictional narrative. Spaghetti Westerns, everything allude to the fact that that was a made-up nonsense, never existed. The Old West is not what it was, but they attribute it by giving people lands, you know about that, land allotments, and putting them out there and letting them farm it and make something of it, and that way they can own it. Our lands, all right? And it was all these immigrants. You heard what I read yesterday. So this is the illusion that even melanated Negroes paint in their delusion. We'll get into that in 1 minute, and then we'll get into the things that are up there. But this is part of that, okay? He was an African American living in the Indian Territory. Bill was a descendant of slaves on both sides of his family lineage. The Indian Territory was the home of Indian freedmen. Indian freedmen are melanated people who are never slaves. There's no such thing as slaves. It was POWs, other than indigenous servants who came here. Hold on. Okay? As far those of us who know to correct the fallacy of these worthless Negroes, he's still alive. Check it out. The Indian Territory was the home of Indian freedmen of the 5 civilized tribes. Get away from that, because that's the illusion that they painted based on an Know Nothing Indian Native American movement to paint their own fictional story, to eradicate, to hide who you are after war, suppression, murder, and death and destruction. Okay? So these were black people who, before black, you couldn't use that term back then. This is an idiot. Okay? Before the Civil War, these were black people who, before the Civil War, was in the Civil War, remember that, I knew my great-great-uncles, it was not a Civil War, had been slaves of the Cherokee. No, they weren't. If y'all know the stories and read the books, the literals written by the families, they went and got their people who were the offspring of POWs, Punch Bowl, this, that, and who were murdered to keep them in the families in the narrative where they were indentured, where they had to learn how to work their land, how to build, how to carpentry, and everything else. Bill Choctaw, Chickasaw. I'm the Choctaw who's up to Chickasaw. You can't put Choctaw and Chickasaw side by side. They're one and the same people. All right? The Creek We already know who the Creek people were, not the people they're painting on the East Coast now. Whitewashed like narrative, a bunch of ignorant half-breed Negroes. And Seminole tribes are always Negroes, never Mongolian. I have 5 to 6 different books. I've studied the history overseas of the Seminole and down south, so-called, it's not South America. That's north. That's the actual north direction, okay? Bill was a citizen of the Cherokee Nation. He was a citizen of the Cherokee Nation and Seminole Nation as a freedman from his mother's lineage. This look like an African. Y'all can pull up his real picture. That's based on his real picture, y'all. They want you, and then Mexicans will say, "Oh, as a Mexican, look at me." Y'all say, "Oh, because you got Chinese." Oh, and you're Chickasaw because you got German. We only have one light skin. I'm not going back to the 480,000 13 generation grandparents. All right, I told you it's not what they think it is. Majority of them were melanated. They can't help themselves. And why do I say that? Well, R.T. Burton received a BA, a Bachelor's of Science, right? A BA, and an MA, Master's, right? In African American Studies from Governor's State University. Ooh, if that don't speak volumes. Okay? He retired in 2015 after spending 38 years in higher education, indoctrination. He was a history professor at Prairie State College, another nigga that misled many of our people and got them running around this condescending matter of Africa, out of Africa, when most of those people are not even there. And you have people coming forward telling the truth. We're gonna say something. I'm gonna say something else here to allude to this. Okay? It is anyway. African American, Native American outlaw and lawman in the Wild West. It is titled Black, Red, and Deadly. Black and Indian Gunfighters of the Indian Territory, 1870 to 1907. In 1999, Burton wrote the first book on African Americans who were scouts and soldiers in the Wild West. The book is titled Black Buckskin and Blue African American Scouts and Soldiers on the Western Frontier. Now, in 2007, Burton wrote the first scholarly biography of an African American lawman of the Wild West. This work is titled Black Gun Silver Star, The Life and Legend of Frontier Marshal Bass Reeves. He wasn't even African. It's these niggas that have betrayed y'all. Now, I got the book. I got 2. One by him and one that's a little older. And this is what is being done. That's why I don't care about Kendrick Lamar and all these other monkeys in the music and entertainment. I keep advising y'all to stop listening to them. We have a plethora of autochthonous or indigenous rappers, whether they claim Moorish or not, who will give you the truth of this land and your history. Now we have a bunch of so-called Native Americans who don't even know that, and some of them round-eyed, so that means they're Negroes, mulattoes, or white, you know, with fake Jewish ancestry, Ashkenaz, and they're talking about brown pride. Indigenous Americans aren't U.S. citizens. They think they're talking about them. No, my Native American brothers and sisters, you are a citizen. Sadly, governed and ordained by the Ashkenaz, if you want to call Zionists, by way of the Vatican. You were bought and paid for. This is not hate. I had a friend of mine from Navajo Nation's cousin talking big time. Why don't you come and see me? And I remember who it was. I was like, you know what? I'll tell you. This is what I told him. I said, tell your cousin, stop drinking for 2 weeks. Do some push-ups and sit-ups and run around. All right? And I'll come and visit. And he's like, no, don't do that, Red. No, don't do that. Don't hurt him. Don't hurt. He's you know, no. I know who it is. He's a big boy. He can handle himself. I don't advocate this, but hey, look. You remember the old place where I set the ring up? You know, we could put the ropes back up. They're still there in the little cupboard. He says, yeah, the heavy bag and all that. Yeah, guys are using it like you showed them. I said, well, put the ring back up. I'll come up there. And you can put the gloves on. I'll put the gloves on. He can just go bare knuckle. His cousin was right there. Oh, no, that's all right, Red. I was just hogwashing. Navajo Nation. I was hogwashing with you. And there's a difference. There's a reason why Putin showed the Madonnas and everything of ancient. There's a reason why in Italy they walk with the Statue of Liberty blackface. It's not just blackface, and the black Madonnas in all the world. Reason why I put the first thing, right, the protocols of Zion, because what do the fake ass Jews, the Zionists here, that's not what they call now, but philanthropists, right? What do? They're an absurdity. You're gonna deal with AIPAC and fake Jewish, what you call history? They lie about everything. And they still think they have some kind of damn power. That power is dead. So, in my documents, all right, because I'm about to go there. I'm about to go and whip through my documents. All right. Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Now you got to remember, this is written, transliterated from Yiddish by those who stepped outside of it. This is not written by you, me, and these dumb pale-skins running around who don't know no better, and these fake professors and Negroes. All right, these are written by the very people who miseducate, take the rainbow and make it for homosexuality and everything else. The perversions, they got the youth running around as crazy as coonskins. All right, because they're going to all be destroyed. This is it right here. Now, they want to say, oh, it's fact checkers. Them fake motherfuckers. All right? And y'all have heard enough to know that they're not qualified to fact check nothing. We are what? 47% and 100% proof of defeating them bastards who are misleading you by COVID. It's a murderous regime and everything else. And now there's a bunch of people on the other side who are coming around saying you got to build your immune system up. Negroes have the best immune system. That's why they've been attacking you and studying you, stealing your uteruses, going after dumb women who follow certain media influences and testing blood and taking the organs and this, that, and the other. And you got these dumb racists running around in costume, murdering melanated and light-skinned folk who don't know who they are, all right, as if it's going to be all right for them in the end. In this Sergei Victor Martin, you got all the information, everything else. I would advise you to download the PDF. I've got the book, all right? And go, I've got 2 of them, okay? And go ahead and read. Professor Lelis was a priest in the Orthodox Church in Russia, talking about Bolshevik and all that. Victor Marston, the author of this translation, Marston, of the famous protocols, was himself victim of the revolution. He had lived for many years in Russia and was married to a Russian lady. Among his other activities in Russia, he had been for a number of years a Russian correspondent of the Morning Post, a position which he occupied when the revolution broke out, and his vivid descriptions of events in Russia will still be in the recollection of many of the readers of that journal. And you need to look at this yourselves. I'm not going to sit here and read all this, okay? And they wanted to spell it just like, let me get it here. Let me see if I got let me see if I can find this other one. Let me see if I can pull it up. You need to look at the Christian identity movement, the fact that Zionism started with them before it became this Jewish narrative. Because they needed to indoctrinate after all these wars and so many of them dying, these converts, they had to fill the numbers, the lots again. These custodials or custodians or whatever you want to call them. Okay? They would probably be flattered by that. But let me read Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 5. And they will deceive everyone his neighbor and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies, the kol nitere. I asked you to research that. All right, and weary themselves to commit iniquities. Okay, pull it up for yourself. Okay, for you bibliographies and all you people that get caught up in religion. Now let's also look at, where's it at? Ephesians chapter 6 verse 4. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. That means of yourself. Walk in a certain way and manifest a certain thing, and that energy you will feed your offspring. That's why it's important for the women not to be against the fathers and the fathers not to be against the women, because the children will be brought to anger and wrath by one or the other, and it will be out of character. Discipline is different. But to deceive them, there'll be a time coming when the deception will fall. Just like everything else. They do this every time before the utter destruction of things. I'm not giving it energy. There's no, if they can read this, they know I'm not. I'm being very plural. Okay? If I could sit down with this Negro, I can check him on everything he's researched. But he will never have an audience, take my audience. For I speak as a nation. No person, but of a peoples. There's a difference. Somebody had an issue because, well, you said that there's Native Americans. Yeah, there's many of you are relatives. But your arrogant ways allude to the fact you don't know history. Yeah, you know his story. You alluded to it and you pulled it as a comforter. But if the protocols of Zion aren't real, then why are they so busy happenstance cleaning up everything? Why are they the biggest philanthropists? Why do they own everything? And they're pushing with Charles Schwab and all these other idiots. Bill Gates didn't invent nothing to create anything. This is a fact. I want you to hear this for yourself. Okay? I want you to listen to this.
The basic program was made by some mathematics professors.
Hold on.
Bill Gates did not invent anything. The basic program was made by some mathematics professors in a college. The office operating system was by a software engineer, and he bought it for $50,000. He's built the empire by creating patents on software. And the first WTO meeting in Singapore gave him tax concessions.
Patents. I worked at Albert Einstein's fake-ass building in East Orange, New Jersey. 2 years. Acro welding, learning aluminum welding, and on the second floor with an Irish guy with the same name as mine, learning how to build furniture. Okay? Einstein didn't invent a damn thing. Took it from us. A young man from Lithuania, y'all know as Nikola Tesla, he saw the absurdity and he moved around us in Harlem. Now, who writes the story? The George Orwellian factor. I can keep playing that, but you can dig that up. It's a Hindu woman, and Gujar, or whatever you want to call it. And Bill Gates is a philanthropist who has lied over and over and over. And yet he's buying farmland. He wants you to eat crickets and all that stuff, which is toxic. He is a perversion, a disease. Just like Netanyahu on a land they ain't supposed to be on, by way of a disease, a fake crown. And now we have a plethora of ignorant Negroes in UK and everywhere else gunning after us. That's their creation, and they're not too bright. Many are very respectful, but they don't even know their own origin, because the truth is a skewer meal drop and a plethora of individuals. I've been saying for a long time, the slave trade, they want to denounce the fact that they controlled 87% of it. When the light skins didn't control hardly none of it, because they were indentured in servitude. Those facts stand as facts with references and sources throughout. The Cabbage Patch Babies weren't real. The orphan trains weren't real. They don't know their history. How short it is in obscurity. And y'all still, look what they just did. Look what they did recently to Famous Richard, messing with the monkeys in Brooklyn. He's locked up. And the CEOs there, they're a bunch of homos. They're just no good. The DLJ is full of excrement. Your mayors and your so-called fictional leaders, because you don't know your power over size and you, look at you and disperse you as if you're nothing. Because they're bought and paid for. But they don't want you to listen or believe in certain things, right? Let me pull this up. So at the height of American slavery, right? The claim in the AI overview is that at the height of American slavery, 78% of slave owners were ethnic Jews. It's false, it says. Who programs the AI? Are we dealing with the George Orwellian fact? The idioms of Mark Twain? The whitewashing of history? Who do you think's behind it? Why is it that people, I don't have to pull up all the information and sources, you know I got it all. But this is all they know how to do, is lie. That's where their sources are right now, because they believe they're in control and you are giving them that energy. Klaus Schwab, what it doesn't matter. But yes, correct. I mean, look at the hidden tape with the people spraying the chemtrails. You got a Muslim and you got a fake Christian. I mean, you can't make this up, right? That's all over the place now. You think they care? You even have an individual showing you in your face, a Roujar, showing you flipping the switches with the rocket boosters when it starts seeding stuff with the chromium, chromium, with the metals and everything to seed the clouds that they denied for the longest time. You have the people, and it seems it's always Air Force, right? One of them with the Globetrotters or Gulf, who work there, all right? And the Black Works, Skunk Works and stuff, and they're all looking dying around 65. And they can't even talk about all the things they did. Who you think's behind that? Who pushed and created this war in Ukraine? Messed the people's head up in this so-called new place, Africa. How come none of y'all look at the Boxer Rebellion and what really happened and who were the individuals behind it? I don't feel like going back, okay? Howard University. Extract from the speech by Adolf Hitler, January 30th, 1939. Yad Vashem. In connection with the Jewish question, I have this to say. It is a shameful spectacle to see how the whole democratic world is oozing sympathy for the poor, tormented Jewish people, but remains hard-hearted and obdurate when it comes to helping them who is surely, in view of its attitude and obvious duty, the arguments that are brought up as an excuse for not helping them actually speaks for us Germans and Italians. Well, this is what they say. We, that is the democracies, are not in a position to take in the Jews. Yet in these empires, there are not 10 people to the square kilometer, while Germany, with her 135 inhabitants to the square kilometer, is supposed to have room for them. They assure us we cannot take them unless Germany is prepared to allow them a certain amount of capital to bring with them as immigrants. For hundreds of years, Germany was good enough to receive these elements. Although they possess nothing except infectious political and physical diseases, what they possess today they have by a very large extent gained at the cost of the less astute germination by the most reprehensible manipulations. Today we are merely paying this people what it deserves. When the germination was, thanks to the inflation instigated and carried through by Jews, deprived of the entire savings which it had accumulated in years of honest work. When the rest of the world took away the German nation's foreign investments, when we were divested of the whole of our colonial possessions. These philanthropic considerations evidently carried little noticeable weight with democratic statesmen. Today, I can only assure these gentlemen that thanks to the brutal education with which the democracies favored us for 15 years, we are completely hardened to all attacks of sentiment. After more than 800,000 children of the nation had died of hunger and undernourishment at the close of the war, we witnessed almost 1 million head of milking cows being driven away from us in accordance with the cruel paragraphs of a dictate which the humane democratic apostles of the world forced upon us as a peace treaty. We witnessed over 1 million German prisoners of war being retained in confinement for no reason at all for a whole year after the war was ended. We witnessed over 1.5 million, sound familiar? 500,000 Germans being torn away from all that they possess in the territories lying on our frontiers and being wiped out with practically only what they wore on their backs. We had to endure having millions of our fellow countrymen torn from us without their consent and without their being afforded the slightest possibility of existence. I could supplement these examples with dozens of the most cruel kind. For this reason, we ask to be spared all sentimental talk. The German nation does not wish its interests to be determined and controlled by any foreign nation. France to the French, England to the English, America to the Americans, and Germany to the Germans. We are resolved to prevent the settlement in our country of a strange people which was capable of snatching for itself all the leading positions in the land. Sounds familiar? And to oust it, for it is our will to educate our own nation for these leading positions. We have hundreds of thousands of very intelligent children, of peasants, and of the working classes. We shall have them educated. In fact, we have already begun, and we wish that one day they and not the representatives of an alien race may hold the leading positions in the state together with our educated classes. Above all, German culture, as its name alone shows, is German and not Jewish, and therefore its management and care will be entrusted to members of our own nation. If the rest of the world cries out with a hypocritical main against this barbaric expulsion from Germany of such an irreplaceable and culturally eminently valuable element, we can only be astonished at the conclusions they draw from this situation. For how thankful they must be that we are releasing these precious apostles of culture and placing them at the disposal of the rest of the world in accordance with their own declarations. They cannot find a single reason to excuse themselves for refusing to receive this most valuable race in their own countries, nor can I see a reason why they, the members of this race, should be imposed upon the German nation, while in the states which are so enthusiastic about these splendid people, who controls the narrative APAC, the bastards who rewrote history and changed the narrative, the ones who break y'all right now will let foreign fighters who they've created with ignorant ass paleskins and dumb Negroes to go warring against in the lies to abundance they are figuring out. As Netanyahu and they said, well, if the world goes and fights against us, we will create a nuclear holocaust the world over. Is that not a threat? Blackmailing? All your politicians are fictional characters. They have taken the law, they don't care about the Bill of Rights or the Constitution, and they have adulterated and conspired and created the lifeline of people running around in costume and the fiction narrative of all these fake agencies and fake Masonic orders and everything else, Shriners and all the perversions who have or part of the systemic problem. But they had to do it on a very large scale because everywhere they tried it before, they saw how they fell. But it is the American Negro on their land who don't know who and what they are. And they will continue to use these brazen tactics. This is the speech when y'all see Hitler standing up there, you know what I'm saying? That is what he was saying that they hid for so long because most people chose not to learn the German language and to listen for themselves. And it goes on. Let's pull up this other one. And stay away from Reuters. They just got outed. You know that. Paid for how much? Reuters is an absurd, yes, a sickness and a disease. Now, you got PolitiFacts and Reuters, right? Gabrielle Settles, fake quote. Y'all need to look into who is Gabrielle Settles is. And the reason why I make the statements and the claims that I propose. It is for you to research these individuals and know them for the shallowness of who they are. So, you see this little monkey, right? Okay. Educated by who? A quote falsely attributed to Nazi dictator Adolf Hitler aims to show that he believed black people are true Hebrews. The quote is circulating on social media, but experts say there's no evidence the German leader said it. And they've lied all this time, and we're supposed to accept and believe them for their little wanton sellouts. America has stolen the Jews that reference black people as the jewels of God, his jewelry. It continued. They are the true Hebrews. What a foolish move and a direct challenge to God. And they plan on moving these false white Jews into the state of Israel. The bottom of the image is blurry, right? But let me help you with something. There is a pastor who is not bought and sold like the rest of these worthless ass fake preachers and deacons and all these some bitches that if you pay the tithings and they're not even Levitical, right? You go and pay them tithings, and if you run out with a problem with an electric bill, they won't care. If you give the wrong amount of money by accident, they'll hold on to it and say no because of their greed, the conspiratorial, the fact that they have a 301(c). When in fact, Hitler did say it when I was in Germany. The fact that there were people who remember being there, but who listened and heard him state it. But because they think they're in control over here, they push the narrative so they can further be the philanthropists or the deceivers, the destroyers, and yet you have a hard time because they redact and change the direction as to hide in their fake, contemptuous, contemporary existence. The Zionists don't care about these converted Jews. They're nothing but another pawn in the big play of things. When the originals walk around in absurdity all over the earth in ignorance. And it's more and more coming to the surface, these truths. If you believe anything they say, you see what they did to Kanye. He's back to acting like a friggin' idiot while still samples of little things being spewed out because they've already made him look like a nutcase. Yet, but you know his, from out of Canada, that fake Jew, the fact that they drugged him and put him in a psych ward, you can go back and read the psych wards and all that stuff on Tartary after the destruction and how they made people subject to their narrative and everything else. The fact that you're the original cowboys. Why do you think James Baldwin left and went to France? Was it because he was gay? No, because he was tired of the bullshit. He tore them up in every debate. But nobody wants to hear that. Now they done beaten the drum using the worthless FBI. Oh, well, Martin Luther King was this. We know a lot of people work for him, and what do? They kill him. They have a bunch of idiots carried out who don't know no better, who subjugate themselves as if they have received the pertinent information. It doesn't matter about Gray's giants and all that other shit. If that was the case, then they would be going, or these giants and things would be running ham right now, destroying. But they still need time because they're attempting to find something. Or they found it and they're attempting to be able to do something. And y'all keep lamenting and giving these bastards a position. Every record has been destroyed or falsified. Every book rewritten. Every picture has been repainted. Every statue and street building renamed. Every date has been altered. And the process is continuing day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except the endless present in which the party. And here I told you about democracy, how it's destroyed based on which is Marxism. And the fact that Karl Marx was himself an Ashkenaz. His cousin ran with it after his death. And everybody has a hard time. The Rothschilds, that's not even their real name. Based on a banner of Moorish ideology and what I guess you would call the tavern. The Carnegies, the Rockefellers, it's the same thing through and through. And y'all keep believing in it. Did y'all actually witness how many Native Americans have been removed by ICE? Always talking about brown pride, but they act like they white. When you're actually the original. And I told people that rednecks had nothing to do with pelts, because you got all these goopy came over in the 1920s and 40s and 50s talking about, I'm a redneck. And they don't know that had nothing to do with it. It had people that part of the Civil War, part of the South, fighting against the North. Sadly. And it had everything to do with the fact that we were the majority of them wearing red neckerchiefs. For those coming up in Jersey and certain places, bam on this, who remembers those people coming out of Vietnam or Korean in World War II, we always used to wear our neckerchief around our neck and have it tied in a square knot. This is my ancestors, not some damn pale skin. Alabama fighting 18 and everything else. And the Carolinas and Virginias. Based on the Republic. That X, just like in the swastika, regardless of how they want to put it in portraits, when you're dealing with Shiloh, Blacklow, and all these different fighting forces that were Negroid. Not these worthless monkey, even though some of them look, because they had been here for since the mid-1700s, intermarrying and everything. And then when they got to a certain point, what did they do? They created segregation, racist dichotomy. Who was the idiot who created the 4 and then 5 races of man? And then started creating the terms human and mankind. To eradicate the existence of your truth. There are sources of references all over the place. Do I need to pull them up? Why do you think they're getting rid of fact checkers? Because they know that they're full of shit. They've been saying this for a while. And now the bastards who have been attempting to kill everybody is running full fucking force. Is Trump really the bad guy or the good guy? Or is he the mediator in the middle because now everything's coming to a head? You're going to keep listening to these idiots and feeding them, or you're going to start ignoring them and congregate and be the nation that you are and speak and move together as one. Maybe. Stop beating yourselves up and putting yourself in a lower existence. It's funny when you look at the Dutch West Indies and all the tobacco statues, it was us. These monkeys had even no inclusion. They put them on the plains, made them fight in bars, eating flesh everywhere they turned, picking up old tricks by those of us out there. Still the remnant of a great people. Once they blew up and destroyed many of our great cities in the great country of many countries, a land of many countries. Jerusalem was here. They destroyed it. People talking about 2 and 3 cities underwater. How about over 200? We don't need to talk about Rosewood and all them few places. Black Wall Street, they only destroyed a part of that. And the fighters from World War I came in and stopped them and rebuilt it. But they had to be all part of it, the fake-ass government. Our people have earned 1 million times over. They outsourced the jobs. Why? Because they didn't want to pay you your worth. And then they furthered, with these fake bastards, removed the gold and silver standard. So they could subjugate you more. Now you have people who have been collecting Section 8 more than most of us who deserve, based on our injuries, our time serving this fraudulent-ass government. They wanted to deny me for my fucked up wrist and my other bad knee, as if one knee got jacked in the same incident when the other one was worse. These motherfuckers are absurdity. Excuse my language. But nobody wants to deal with the pressure. But what does the pressure do, people? With a great people. Y'all just want to wait until they get you, huh? All right. Excellent read, but a fictional narrative based on a true autochthonous young one. That look like a goddamn African. That's like reading Rainbow with that dumb Negro. Educating a people, and then they didn't want to learn cursive, and then changing the narrative and retracting and pulling them away. LeVar Burton, right? How about all them old ass videos, right? I don't even know if I have them on here. What were they? I can't play the music. I can't play the music, people. But I'll let you hear a little bit of it. Okay.
I tell her your name and birthday.
Oh, she passed away. Alcohol, may you rest easy, hon.
A bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and if they vote for me on Cap.
Hey, do you know about the USA? Do you know about the government? Can you tell me about the Constitution? Conjunction, how's that function?
I got 3 favorite cars that get most of my job done.
Conjunction,
When I was coming up, that's what we had. Besides uncle saying, my great grandma, you need to learn this language. This is who you are. Remember this. And moving like a spy. Remember I told you about the barrels with the fire and the brothers standing out there, and people would come and they'd be crooning and singing? It was a distraction to them, because most of them were spies looking at what these Jews were doing. So they had to have wars to get rid of them. To get the Tonkin, USS Liberty, right? The war with 11, the fact that you had them fake Jews who would destroy the German military from within. The fact that they were burning and destroying mountains and cutting railroad tracks, burning up the cows and the chickens and all that other stuff, shooting them up with all kind of poisons, letting them come from foreign lands, still putting fluoride in the water, spraying over you. Is that you doing it? Sacrifices, deeper perversions. Behold, Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Is that one or many? Is it plural or not? Then we go back. Jeremiah chapter 9, 5 again. And they will deceive everyone his neighbor. And you saw that with the Hutu and the Tutsis, or the Rwanda genocide. And I will not speak the truth, and they will deceive everyone his neighbor, and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies. Did y'all put up the Koinitra? I'm asking you again. And they use puppets after puppets who think they're strong and powerful, but they move aggressive in a lie because of a perversion. What soldier wants to rape other men on their land? Why do pedophiles in New York think they can convert and put a little yarmulke on their head and go over to Palestine? And in absurdity do the most vile things in the children that were missing there. And with a government supposed to be of a fake great country standing behind it, and them niggas who murdered that young man, regardless of him stabbing his girlfriend or wife, to murder them live on camera as if it was okay, unaware that the shit was recording. That's one. We're not even talking about the one in Louisiana, Tennessee, and all the other. We already talking about that, are we? Look at what happened in Chicago in that house. And all these gang members acting like they tough. Look at Whack 100 with his punk 5'5" ass. With Adam 22, homosexual, wife swapping, all in the porn AVN award wanting. Thank goodness for CeCe not being part of that. They keep messing with that brother from Chicago and these LA cats who are all from the South and over from the East Coast. 87% of them aren't even from Cali, which is Carolina. When as far as the murders, they ain't got nothing on Philly or Chicago. This is being played out by those who are bought and paid for by the fake Zionists that control the narrative. And yet y'all still want to listen to these things while they manipulate stuff. This is not about hate, y'all. Okay? And y'all start correcting. Don't argue with these natives. You tell them, hey, look, you got any Negroes in your family? Then they get a pass if they won't accept the reality. If they have a hard time dealing with that, they're not your plight. They're not even your problem. They don't even have a number worthy. They can raise it 20 more percent, 50%, and it still won't. Y'all got to snap up out of it. Stop being influenced by what you see. Stop moving as if you're moving right because you got a bunch of young ones who are self-hating now, whether in the military or wherever, regardless of what they've done, who can't get their heads wrapped around things right. They've been misled, and it ain't your fault. But now that you've heard me, oh, it'll weigh on you. Like I said, they only had a few things to do and they didn't even do it. And I haven't told you shit. I haven't told you nothing. This is information that's out there. Only problem is you don't know how to put it together. Someone said, well, if you're the Chickasaw, why were you killing the giants? Excuse me. When my people could run and jump as high as the moon, swim the deep blue oceans, the cold didn't exist. No more than like heat. Could stare at the sun and hear for miles and smell you from miles away. Could take anything down. These were not the good ones. And there's a difference. The control thing, anything or any one thing can be taken and maneuvered and manipulated. But now my people run around obscure of who they are, and then there are those who think they're us. They haven't really researched to find out who they are and what role they're supposed to play as far as the garrisons of their truth. I'm not here to embark on that quest. Okay? They crossed the line the first time, they shot me up with bullshit. The second time, and the third, in the surgeries, I only had one doctor who actually did non-invasive surgery, the first one on my back, who was in a wheelchair and who was a Hindu. And I adore that man, if he's still alive. And I respect him, because I couldn't hardly even walk straight, people. I wasn't meditating or anything. Just laying around. They wanted to give me oxycodone and all that crap for my pains. I've learned to accept the pain and move with it. They choose bad. Why do y'all have to continue to choose bad? I don't like when I talk to individuals and they know everything, not dismissing what they know, and they don't know how to listen, especially you women. Always functioning in the perversion of your existence instead of walking in the light of your truth. It tires me. It's inconvenient, but I convene. I'm gonna shout you out, and I'm gonna sign off. Then we'll come back and we'll do some good reading. All right? I'm so tired of listening to fools. Well, at least allowing myself to hear them when it's nothing but pain. And I get tired of hearing pain. When you subjugate yourself to your own pain, you don't have to. Got Ganj, Asia, Dev, Carrie, Olmec, Smash Ronnie, Tony P. Hey, Brenda Stein, how you doing? They put the sign all day and can't get it, no matter how we tell them. Yes. Yeah, well, I know, I just thought it, yeah. You're right. True old world. I appreciate you all, I really do. All right? And I'm never saying really people are wrong. I just sometimes I gotta remember, and you know, so, you know how it is when there's a lot of information, right? Anywho, I hope y'all able to gather what I was exposing. And y'all need to stop thinking, letting them think they control the narrative because, oh, but we're gonna shut you down. They ain't shutting down shit. They're shutting themselves down. See you guys later.